Okay. Hey guys, what's up? It's Hunter. My voice is going in and out because I feel like I'm getting sick. But we're gonna shoot this video because it's my upload date. And this is also gonna be one of those record and upload type videos because, as I said, I feel the sickness. And it's almost midnight. And I'm fucking tired, so after I decided to upload, I'm just gonna go to bed. But as you can read by the title, this is the story of how I lost my best friend. I've never really told this story before. My friends don't even know the story because I just don't like talking about it. It makes me upset. And I figured if I had no one else to talk about it, then when I'm sick and can't talk anyway. So if I start crying, it'll just sound like I'm losing my voice. So why not? So this isn't the story of, like, you know, a friend that I had in school that passed away. This story is about my grandmother. She was my best friend. I would call her every morning on my way to school. I'd call her on my way back. It was just, you know, she was the best. And no, I'm not crying already. Sick. Runny nose. So a few months before, 6 or 7 or something like that, I was calling her on my way home from school, and she was with my aunt and my cousins. She handed the phone off to my cousin, and my cousin told me that she was pregnant. You need to shush. She was pregnant with her first and only child. I don't know why I said first. But, so I, you know, was excited, and then we had hung out a couple times, and at the baby shower, my grandmother showed up in a wheelchair with her husband, so we were kind of like, you know, what's going on? I know she had trouble walking before then, but she had never really needed a wheelchair, so even in my head I was like, okay, what's going on here? Turns out later on that she didn't tell us that she had fallen, and no one told us, not even her husband Harry. So we were, you know, like, okay, did you go to the hospital? She said no. And then a few days later, we get a call at my house from Harry. He says, he called my mom, he said, your mother fell, we're going to the hospital, the ambulance came and picked her up, I'm headed over now, I'll meet you there. So me and my mom drove a few towns over, picked up my aunt and my cousins, we all went to New Milford, and went to the hospital, and me and my cousins didn't see her in New Milford Hospital, because as soon as we got there, they were transferring her to Danbury Hospital, which is a whole nother thing. Ugh. But we didn't get to see her there, but when we got to Danbury Hospital, she was in a room with another person, and we got to see her, and it was a really small, cramped room. So it was like the bed, 2 people over here, 2 people here, and maybe one at the end, but then there was also the nurses coming in now, and there was also one on the other side of the room. So it was just a lot. So she was in there for like maybe a week, and then they moved her to the rehab unit, which she was going to stay in until she got better. Clearly she didn't. We had gone a few times. She had this big knot in her hair, I remember, so we bought her literally this brush that I use now. I only use it because it was hers. We brought her that brush so she could brush out the knot for it to get it out, and it didn't really work. I'm pretty sure she still had the knot when she passed, which is sad. I was there a few times, and then one day it was me, my mom, and my aunt. We were talking to her, you know, everything was normal. The nurse came in and asked her what she wanted for dinner and breakfast the next morning, and while she was talking, she kind of just, like, fell asleep. We were like, okay, what's going on? Me, my mom, and my aunt got shoved out of the room when a bunch of people came in, so we were, like, freaking out. We were like, what the hell's going on? You know, she was fine 2 minutes ago, but now she's just not talking. She fell asleep. What's going on? I'm already getting teary-eyed, and I'm never told this story, and I hate recalling it. A few minutes later, they let us back in the room. She's still asleep, but one of the nurses there is really nice. She let us come back in. She was taking notes on how long it was taking her to get up, and she was saying, you know, she's strong, she'll wake back up, and she did. And I'll never forget, she woke up, saw me sitting there with tears in my eyes, and all she said was, I'm sorry. And that killed me, because I was like, I know it wasn't your fault. And a few minutes later, she did it again, and it took her longer to wake up. So they moved her downstairs into the MRI to see what was going on. It turns out that she had seizures in her brain, and she never woke up. So we would keep going to the hospital, and it came to the point where she had a tube down her nose feeding her because she wouldn't wake up so she could eat. And finally, my mom and aunt decided that they were going to put her on DNR. And if you don't know what DNR is, it stands for Do Not Resuscitate, which means if she goes, that they're not going to try to revive her. And me and my cousins knew that that was the best thing to do because she was gonna go anyway. And I'll never forget the day I came home one day from something. My mom stopped me dead in my tracks. She was like, "We need to talk." And that was the first time I had that was the first breakdown I ever had, because she kind of looked me dead in the eyes. It's just, she's gonna die. And I told her that's what I didn't want to hear. So, we asked the doctors and everything to if we can get a separate room. And the last time we saw her, my mom and aunt were going to spend the night. They'd done it a few times already. They were going to spend the night there, so me and my dad went out to Taco Bell or something like that because I just needed to be happy again. And I'll always forget it. But before we left that day, my aunt and my mom asked all of us, do you want a minute alone to go in with her? And the cousin that was pregnant at the time went in, said she was sad that she was never going to meet the baby. But she got to see a video of him before she died. Because he was born while she was still in the hospital, which was really sad. We had two people in the hospital at the same time. It was too much. But I really wanted to go in and say my final words to her, but I never got to. And I'll always regret that. I had so much I wanted to say, how much she meant to me. I was gonna miss her, and how pissed I was at her that she was gonna miss my senior year. But, I knew it was her time, and that night, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, my mom drove up. I was expecting good news. Something like she woke up, and she didn't want us to stay. But lo and behold, I walked outside, and she had tears in her eyes, and she didn't even have to say anything. I walked up to her, gave her a hug, and everything just went to shit. The whole house was bawling, and it was really sad. But, yeah, that's the story of how I lost my best friend. She was cremated, like a month later. No, not a month. That would have been weird. A few weeks. I don't know. A few days. One day, hopefully soon, she's in a, just a regular box. I'm hoping one day that I can get like a necklace or like something to put some of her ashes in. Have it with me all the time. I really didn't want to cry. But it's too late for that because I've already shed 3 tears. But yeah, guys, I just want you to know, if you ever lose someone in your family that you were close to, you're not alone, because everyone deals with it. But yeah, guys, that's the story of how I lost my best friend. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace. And I just want to make a PS. To any of those who are watching this video thinking I'm weak for crying, who think I'm weak that someone in my family was my best friend and how I lost them, and that was the saddest thing that had ever happened to me, I want you to know that makes me stronger than you. Vulnerability is strength in my eyes. If you're gonna cry about someone you care about, then cry, because there's no reason not to. If you care about that person, you should be upset. And I am.